Live from Phoenix, Arizona, this is the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame Selection Show. Here are your hosts, Alex Marvez and Howard Balzer.
Howard, the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to be really happy that Ronde Barber has retired and is now a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, because about 20 years ago, I remember being at an NFC Conference Championship game, the final game at Veterans Stadium, and only one other time in my life had I heard 80,000 people drop dead silent as Ronde Barber picks off a pass, returns it, and the Buccaneers rout the Eagles, make it to Super Bowl 37, go on to win that Lombardi trophy. And Ronde, just one of a litany of incredible plays, 241 regular season games over 16 seasons. You started 215 straight, 224 if you count the postseason. And I got one other number for you here, 131. And that was the number of text messages you said you had received in about the past hour since your Pro Football Hall of Fame induction has been official. So you've been waiting a minute or two or three. Right. Every year you're a finalist and you've been falling short. Now finally you break through, and congratulations. What was the moment like when you found out that you were going to be going to the Pro Football Hall?
Oh God, it's hard to describe that moment because it's impossible to encapsulate what it really means. I know I've been saying this all night, really, that I'm in, but really everybody that came along with me is in. My coaches, my best friends bug me all the time about when you get in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, I can't do anything. I can't go play anymore. But coming into this year, Alex, it felt like momentum was good. It just felt like it was going to be the right time. And I know some guys that are already in there. Three of my other, fellow teammates, they're like, I think your time is coming. And so when I got the knock, it was relief and, just exasperation a little bit. But it's so believable and unbelievable at the same time. And it's an awesome feeling.
And who was it that knocked?
It was Derek.
Derek.
Yeah, Derek has been one of my big champions, I think, in and around the Hall of Fame. He saw me do it week in and week out. We played as teammates together for a lot of snaps, probably as many as anybody in the history of the league. We played 14 years together. So it was awesome. It was just an awesome night.
We've been joined as well by Zach Thomas.
My God.
Pro Football Hall of
Yes,
Famer.
Sir. How about that, Zach Thomas? Hall of Famer. What does that feel like?
Yeah, why not? Ronde, take over here. I don't have to do anything now. You can do the interview. It's easy. Go ahead.
It feels really good, man. I want to repeat everything you said.
Right.
Because I had some great defenders on my defense as well. Y'all had an awesome defense, and we would always go out and practice with you guys.
Yep.
And we always wanted to compete with you guys. So there was fights all the time.
All
right?
the time, yeah.
Oh, man, that was great.
And that's what caused Tony Dungy, if I'm not mistaken, to stop doing inter-squad practices because of what was taking place between the Dolphins and Bucs. When he went to the Colts, never practiced with another team again. Okay. It's all your fault.
Hey, I remember the talk from Coach Dungy. The following day, he gave a talk and says, if there's any fights, we're canceling practice. And I kid you not, the special team started first.
Right.
And I remember Sam and Pat were at the Vice, and they had a gunner. They picked this gunner up and ran him to the sidelines, threw him across a Gatorade table, and Gatorade went everywhere. And I said, oh, God. And so I said, I guess I got to buckle up because the fight broke out like the first play. That was
first snap of punt. Right, I remember that.
You remember that?
Absolutely, I remember that.
I always look for the guys that try to look like we're fighting.
Right.
I didn't want to be fighting out there throwing punches, especially get a hold of it with those D linemen, Sapper, those guys. Golly.
But you, Zach, you like Ronde have been a finalist several times. A lot of years you weren't a finalist. Now it's finally here. I think a decade eligible.
Yes, sir.
And as Ronde was talking about that, when the knock on the door came and finding out that moment, what was that like, and who came to your door?
Well, I went to lunch with my mom, and I came home, and I didn't think they even voted on it, so I wasn't prepared for the surprise. But Jimmy Johnson was at the top of my stairs, man. Wow. Jimmy Johnson, and that's where I just broke down. I broke down. I couldn't even get up the stairs to give him a hug. It was wild. I remember watching him as a kid when he was at Dallas, and for him to be the guy, because he's the one that took the chance on me from the get-go, my rookie year. Before I even played a game, he said, you're starting, don't let me down. And I never wanted to let the guy down. But, I was undersized, and that's why I feel like for him to give me that chance, I owe everything to that guy, man, because I could have went anywhere else and been in a different system, maybe not even make the team, because I came for special teams, just to make the team. But for him to trust me from the get-go, man, it's good timing.
Yeah, they cut Jack Del Rio the next day after Zach Thomas was in there right away. And Jack was near the end of his career, but it's like, nope, we're moving forward with Zach Thomas. Pretty good decision there by Jimmy Johnson. We got Ronde Barber with us as well here on our Pro Football Hall of Fame special from Super Bowl 57. Ronde, question for you. What did you bring to the Tampa 2 defense, and how did the Tampa 2 defense bring out the best in you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Monty Kiffin and Tony Dungy at the time, who was our head coach. Herm Edwards was my DB coach. My second year, because I didn't play a lot. I didn't play at all, really. One game my rookie year. My second year, Anthony Parker, who was starting ahead of me, got hurt. And I had been sitting there a year watching what Anthony Parker did as a slot, because he was an outside corner that moved inside the slot. He got hurt. I was the outside corner that had to go in and play in the slot. And so what did I bring? I think I've always been an instinctive football player. I kind of understood how the game worked and how offenses were going to try to attack what we showed them on defense. And so that allowed me to make a lot of plays. But it was a team that needed me to fill a lot of different roles. We play a lot of cover 2. When we play Tampa 2, and Zach knows this, you're running the middle linebacker through the middle of the field. So the only two underneath the fenders are the two seam players, me and Derek. And I finished my career with around 1,500 tackles. And there's a reason why. I was essentially playing like a linebacker, and it was the mentality that I had to evolve into to do that. And it was also, me having a unique skill set to do that. Short space quickness, ability to make people miss in short little areas, and then just having a will and kind of a want to, be a physical guy at 5'9.5", 184 pounds. So it worked for both of us. And over the years, as the defense continued to evolve, they kept giving me more responsibility, and that's when I started to shine. That's when I became more than just, say, a cover corner or just a zone corner or even just a blitzing corner. I did all of them really well.
Something tells me, Zach, that when I ask this question, you can say, yeah, just like what he said. In terms of your career, in terms of not wanting to let Jimmy down, but the instinct, knowing the defense, all those things, getting to the ball, all those things came together. Is that what it was pretty much for you, and however long it took?
I feel like what he's talking about with that pre-snap, and just even your pre-snap, if you just align right, like you win most of the time. Mm-hmm. You usually beat yourself. I mean, it's always in the meetings, right, Ronde, where they say if you lost inside technique, what's going to happen, I mean, not knowing where your help is. And I feel like that was where my game took off when I got good at the preparation on that. Because I knew if I lined right and got my sign right, I was going to win on that play. But the biggest thing was getting our defense aligned right for the offense when they came out and trying to keep yourself out of bad plays. That was number one. I feel like that's not seen on national TV. But for you to slide the line versus a certain formation, or get them out of a blitz when they already know you're coming. Just getting yourself out of bad plays is what I feel like I was really good at.
And I'd say the instincts of both of these guys as well. You're talking about 8 interception returns for touchdown by you, Zach. You still hold the Dolphins record for INTs, for touchdowns. And that's, including that flip into the end zone in Tennessee, the 2001 season opener, showing the athleticism to help set you apart, Zach.
What's wild, though, going off onto the sideline after that, I felt my ankle. How stupid would that have been?
I love it.
I'll say this, when you're, because we're both undersized for the standards, quote unquote standards of the NFL. So if you don't have something special, you're not going to show out. And most people, the outside viewers or even people inside the league, they want to measure it. But you can't measure it. You can't measure what Zach and I were because of what we had to overcome based on everybody else's expectations for the position. And so we spent a lot, I know I did, I spent a lot of time trying to prove to myself that I was better than everybody expected me to be. And I won't say it's a chip because that's too much of a cliche. It was just you taking all that, that animosity, if you will, against you, and you use it. I used it. I used it the whole damn 15 years that I started.
I got some stories with Zach Thomas, but we're going to save those for another day. Ronde Barber as well. Thank you for being with us. When we come back, DeMarcus Ware, Joe Thomas going to be joining us, two other members of the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame class here on Channel 88.